Have you driven through Denver or Colorado Springs lately? It's heartbreaking. Tents are everywhere. Trash litters the streets. This isn't the Colorado we know. This isn't the America we know. We're facing a homelessness crisis, folks, and it's a direct result of failed policies and a decline in our core values. For decades, liberals have preached tolerance and compassion. But what about compassion for hardworking Americans? What about tolerance for those who play by the rules? The rampant homelessness we see is a slap in the face to every law-abiding citizen. It's time we demand better. It's not about demonizing the homeless. It's about recognizing that something is deeply wrong. We need to ask the tough questions. How did we get here? And more importantly, how do we fix it? Ignoring the problem won't make it go away. It's time for some tough love, some common sense, and a return to the values that made this country great. Let's be clear. This crisis didn't happen overnight. It's the result of a perfect storm of disastrous policies and weak leadership. First, we have rampant inflation, fueled by reckless spending from the Biden administration. The cost of everything is skyrocketing, and hardworking Americans are struggling to keep up. Then there's the housing market. Rents are through the roof. Try finding an affordable apartment in Denver or Boulder. It's nearly impossible. Years of socialist housing policies have created a shortage of affordable housing, pushing people onto the streets. But there's another, even more sinister factor at play: drugs. Specifically, fentanyl. This deadly drug is pouring across our open southern border, poisoning our communities and destroying lives. It's no coincidence that we're seeing a rise in homelessness alongside a surge in fentanyl overdoses. This is a direct result of the Biden administration's open border policies. We can't talk about homelessness without talking about border security. It's that simple. As long as our border remains a porous sieve, drugs will continue to flow into our communities, fueling addiction and homelessness. We need to finish building the wall and send a clear message. America is closed for business to drug traffickers and criminals. But it's not just about building a wall. It's about enforcing our laws. We need to crack down on drug dealers and hold them accountable for the misery they inflict on our communities. And we need to support our brave men and women in law enforcement who are on the front lines of this battle every single day. A secure border means a safer America. It means fewer drugs on our streets. It means fewer families torn apart by addiction. And it means fewer people ending up homeless. Securing our border is not just a matter of national security, it's a matter of compassion. Section 4. The American Dream, a roof over every head. Homeownership is the bedrock of the American dream. It's about more than just having a place to live. It's about having a stake in your community and a brighter future for your family. But today, the American dream is slipping out of reach for far too many. The radical left wants to tell you that socialism is the answer. They want government-run housing and handouts. But we know the truth. Socialism has never worked, and it never will. It just leads to more poverty, more dependence, and more misery. We need to empower people to achieve the American dream, not make them reliant on government handouts. That means cutting taxes, reducing regulations, and creating an environment where businesses can thrive and create good-paying jobs. When people have jobs, they can afford homes. It's that simple. Section 5. The Invisible Scars. Mental health in crisis. Let's not shy away from another uncomfortable truth. The mental health crisis in this country is real, and it's getting worse. The lockdowns, the mandates, the fear-mongering, it's taken a toll on all of us, especially our young people. We were told it was about following the science, but the real science is clear. Lockdowns were a disaster, and the mandates did more harm than good. They isolated us, destroyed businesses, and fueled a mental health crisis that we're only beginning to understand. We need to have an honest conversation about the damage that was done. We need to provide support for those struggling with mental illness. And we need to reject the authoritarian impulses that led us down this path in the first place. Section 6. Restoring Hope, a Path Forward. So, what's the solution? It starts with strong leadership and a return to common sense. We need to enforce our laws, secure our border, and unleash the American dream. We need to reject socialist policies that keep people trapped in a cycle of poverty and dependence. But it also requires personal responsibility. We need to restore the values of hard work, faith, and family. We need to support organizations that are doing the hard work on the ground, helping people get back on their feet. And we need to stop making excuses for bad behavior. This November, we have a choice to make. We can continue down the path of decline and decay, or we can choose a different path, a path that leads to a brighter future. We can choose to elect leaders who will stand up for our values, secure our border, and put America first. The choice is ours. Let's make the right one.